Oh man, it's dope, man. We doing it, man. This squad is doing big things. You're listening to the All Burgundy and Gold Everything Commanders Post Game Show, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. The Washington Commanders defeated the New York Giants 27-22. I don't know how to take this win. I ain't gonna hold y'all, but I'm Wole. My co-host George is running a little late, but hopefully he'll jump on. Before we get into the game, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_everything. And make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel. If you're watching this video right now, hit that like button. Also, if you're watching this from a different platform, jump onto our YouTube platform and subscribe to our channel. Also, our post-game show is also being streamed on the Urban Sports Scenes X handle as well. All right, let's get into it, man. I'm gonna give you my thoughts. The Washington Commanders, I said, defeated the New York Giants 27-22. I'm not that happy with this win because we made Daniel Jones look good. And if you heard me on the pre-game show, that was something I did not want. I did not want Daniel Jones to look special. I wanted him to look pedestrian. And in this game, I felt like Daniel Jones looked like Daniel Jones. He sees this color and he tends to eat. But in terms of what they did offensively, I love how the Washington Commanders answered every play that the Giants made defensively. I gotta get Cliff Kingsbury, obviously the incredible rookie Jayden Daniels, his flowers. Those dudes, man, they know how they answer. I think in years past, us going against this Giants team, we would have probably faltered knowing that, faltered if the Giants scored or kind of moved the football and whatnot. This offense probably wouldn't have been able to maintain. But with the dope thing about this team is that their offense is one of the more elite offenses. For instance, the Giants, they drive the length of the field. They score. This offense just answers back, right? And the key play was that turnover initially from that Bobby Wagner recovered. Hopefully, I wish they would have let that play keep going and run because I think, to me, that was a touchdown. But anyway, we ended up scoring anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But to me, my thoughts on this game is that I wanted a better showing. Because we talked about this earlier that this defense is improved, but this game, I didn't feel good about the defense. You know what I mean? I want to give my man, what's up, Phillip, man? Hail to the Redskins. Yeah, man, hail to the Redskins, bro. I'm happy with a win. A win is a win. You know what I mean? A division win's a division win. We swept we swept the Giants. That's always dope. Defense did look bad again. Yeah, I did not like how this defense looked. That's my thing. I was not a fan of this defense. This defense should have played better football to me. I mean, you know what I mean? But, the Giants do have a solid defense as well. What did Phillip say? That last Giants drive, I agree. It was unacceptable. I feel like you have to you close it down. We talk about this defense. We talk about this defense improving, but I didn't see what I was seeing the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Paul, the defense showed trashy tendencies. I agree. I totally agree, homie. Phillip, when's the last time we swept the Giants? Feels like forever. It hasn't happened in such a long time. Taj, what's up, man? It's always close with these Giants. Man, it shouldn't be, bro. It shouldn't be. It should not be, but it just seems that way. It does. It seems that way. I think George is here in the building.
Yeah.
What's going on, George? How you doing, buddy?
I heard your opening preamble, and normally I'd agree with you. It was infuriating to watch Daniel Jones come alive yet again. But there's a much bigger story out of this for me in this game.
Yeah.
And that is the great quarterbacks. You give them the ball at the end of the game and say, go win us the game, go run out the clock, go do whatever it is we need you to do. And Jayden Daniels and this offense and Cliff Kingsbury, like you said, deserves a lot of credit. They go down there and they put an end to this game. They use up all the timeouts, including the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
They don't give the Giants a chance to break our hearts like they've broken our hearts for years and years and years. Jayden Daniels is the story for me in this game. And as annoying as the Daniel Jones stuff is, when Washington gets the horses on defense, that stuff's not going to happen anymore. JD5, again, taking another step, showing you another showing you another marker that tells you that he's a great player and he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best in this league. Unbelievable. 7-2, which hasn't happened since 1996.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. I'm so hyped for this win, even though it wasn't what you and I wanted.
Yeah, I don't think this is like. I mean, I thought I've seen JD play better. JD was good. He wasn't bad. I just felt like the way this game was played, this team was like it was more a running game. It was anything but like this.
Which was right because the Giants are a terrible run defense.
Yeah. I think it was a good game plan. I felt like what the plan was the right play. I mean, to me, Jayden made all the right plays. Even the play fading backwards and finding Austin Eckler in that play up the middle, having the savviness just to kind of fade, and then all of a sudden dump that pass to Austin Eckler to get that big first down. He had key first downs. Just to your point, George, he played the quarterback position. You know what I mean? Like, he played the quarterback position.
Like a 10-year veteran. Like a 10-year veteran. And I mean, look, we've seen that. Teams give the ball back to your Peyton Mannings and your Patrick Mahomes and your Tom Brady's, and you're like, oh, we can just get this stop, we can win, and they don't let you get it back. That's what the all-time greats do. And JD5 is on that path.
No, he is. He definitely is. He was special, bro. Like,
that throw at the end of the half. How about that throw at the end of the first half?
Oh my God, it was a pretty throw. Well, that was bad defense too. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
That
was horrible. Like the real that's NFL open. Like, it was a great pass, and you got to be good to make that. Like, let me preface it. You got to be good to make that pass, and obviously he's good. But that I don't know what they were doing. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, you're gonna really single up Terry McLaurin and Banks 1-on-1? Like, really, on that type of play? Nobody over the top of your best
receiver. Terry McLaurin's already busted his
receiver. George, your best receiver not going to help over the top when you only have seconds left? Does that make any sense? Yeah, like.
I mean, it's the one thing Mark Sanchez said that I thought made sense today. Was that?
Dan and Terry is him.
Deontay Banks.
Y17 is a great wide receiver. We won't get to that because I got a vetting to say about Terry for real. I feel like I'm justified. I feel like I'm really justified. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, and we definitely gonna get to it. Philip said we were the PI penalty. Who were the PI penalties on today? You know who it was. Feels like St. Jude's gets one every game. Of course, St. Jude's. Won't get to that too. Why some people tend to some people get the benefit of the doubt and be able to stay on the field while others can't get on the field. While this dude was getting picked on again. And if you watch the game, he was getting picked on again. It wasn't just neighbors. It was Slayton too. He was getting picked on again.
I mean, it was just the whole second half because they couldn't throw in the first half. Daniel Jones had 0 yards at halftime. And so it was all they were busting St. Jude's rear end the whole second half.
Yeah, it was annoying. I'm gonna do something to Glenn. I saw Glenn do it. I saw Glenn do it last week, so I'm gonna open this one up. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And I'm gonna choose, and you only have about a couple minutes. It ain't gonna be a whole show. You'll have a couple minutes to say your point about what you saw today. I'm gonna let you in. You only have like a minute or two to talk about what you thought. I want to know your thoughts of the game. So I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's in the chat. You're only gonna have like a minute, maybe a minute. Because we got to talk about the game, but your overall thoughts though, George.
It was tough watching early. The Giants just cram the ball down their throat. Yeah. It was ludicrous what was going on early. And thank you, Brian Daboll, whoever called that play. That should have been a defensive touchdown, but they blew the dang whistle.
That was annoying.
They thought it was incomplete. That's at least the second or third time that's happened to Washington about the last 2 years, where the dummies didn't let the play go like they're supposed to, and then actually they should have. Screw you guys in the stripes, by the way, for that. But forget that.
Yeah.
So that was really frustrating, and it just shows you again, Adam Peters, if you can make if there's a deal to be made to help this defense, please try to make one by Tuesday. But that said, I just watching Jayden Daniels play the position at such a high level after 9 games. I mean, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
This is 9 games of NFL football, not 90 or 59 or 49. 9 games of NFL football. And honestly, there's only 2 quarterbacks who've been this good their first 9 starts of their career. Dan Marino and Patrick Mahomes. Marino was a rookie. Patrick Mahomes had a year sitting before he got in there. He had 1 start, week 17.
You gonna see their Stroud?
But even Stroud was just starting to get rolling at this point last year.
His yards. I don't know if Jayden's gonna reach Stroud's yards in passing. That's why
he may not. But remember, Stroud did almost all his great work at the end of the season. That last 5-6 weeks, he was on an insane run. Yeah. Like through 9 games, Stroud wasn't this good. He was really good.
Like he got good towards after his first 2 games, he got really good.
But he was on fire in the second half of the season.
And I hate saying it being a Michigan fan. But go ahead.
Oh, I know. But it's just like it just to watch a guy 9 starts into his career and a rookie play that position at this high level. I mean, again, it's like we have prayed. Everybody's been saying it. We've prayed for times like this. We have prayed for times like this. That's why all those stories were coming out about, people are telling their agents, hey, if you can get me to Washington. Because this young man is going to rewrite record books for this football team and may rewrite record books, period, the way he's starting out. It's absolutely insane what he's doing. And he's got to be in the MVP conversation at this point. Seriously, this was a 4-13 football team that if you watch the pregame, I made this point. When they lost their first game of the year this year, they had lost 9 straight games. They're now 7-2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this quarterback and everybody else has done. And my other observation is that this is yet another game that confirms to you that this is going to be a special season, because it's yet another game where guys who we're going to talk about who aren't the biggest names continue to make contributions in key spots. And I can't wait to talk about this particular person when we get a chance, because I was loving what he was doing all day. And it's, that's what you need. It's the guys that are the 50, 51st, and 52nd man on the roster. When they're coming in and giving you production, that's when you know you're going to have a special season.
We got somebody who wants to chime in. I think I see Blitz. What's going on, Blitz?
Hey,
welcome.
What's going on? First of all, shout out to you. I definitely subbed up. I was kind of just going through somebody who would let Washington fans up. I know we all hype. Salute to you also, brother George. And let's say a big salute to the Washington Redskins and Commander fans, because I'm going to give you my chime for the game. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The defense from week 1 to this week looks totally improved, and we need to give a big shout out to Quinn, to Dan Quinn, and we also changed what we did last week and started scoring more touchdowns from the different play calling that we were using. This game, I knew coming confidently that we were going to win. Yeah. I mean, if you look at Jayden Daniels, we all want to harp on Jayden Daniels. These people told us that we was going to win 4 games this season. That's what they told us. They said that he wasn't going to be durable. They said that he wasn't going to be able. He had 55 starts in college, 55, which is more than a lot of rookies have ever had.
Yep.
His poise, his laughter, the way that he's trolling Malik Neighbors. This team is a culture change. You look at Dallas, you look at all these other teams, you look at the Titans, you look at Carolina. What is the one thing missing from those teams? A culture change. Yep. There's a new culture in Washington. We believe that we can beat anybody. To be honest, 2 plays away from beating Baltimore. I got us. I mean, Detroit lose tonight are one of the top 1 or 2 teams in the NFC, not just the division. I mean, this is a culture change. The defense is supposed to be the last in the division. That defense, Louvu, could be a Pro Bowler. Terry McLaurin already had 1,000 yards every season. He might excel from that. He had a quiet day with 2 touchdowns. A quiet day.
Yeah.
This team is special. I mean, there's nothing else to say. If you're saying that we don't beat people, well, look at the teams that we beat. We're not just beating people. We're demoralizing them.
Mm,
This is a complete new team from a change from ownership and then how we play as a team. No, that our special teams is not allowed one special teams run back over 55 yards.
mm.
The whole team is playing. So I just wanted to come up here and tell y'all, like, y'all not just watching greatness, y'all watching history. We have the biggest
Mm-hmm.
salary cap money
I love it.
next year and 9 picks. We're
Yeah.
only going to get better. That's if we don't go far this year.
That's
No,
right.
I love it. I love it. Hey, man, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate that, man. I
For
love
sure,
it.
man. Appreciate it.
All
Go
right.
Commanders,
Thank you,
go.
Blitz.
Go Commanders, man. Go Commanders, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, he's right. This is something
Yeah.
that I do. We said this earlier about this team is that they're playing. I'm glad you mentioned special teams. We
Yes.
are tackling things at three different levels of football. Like, granted, I wasn't that happy with their performance. I guess it is better than it's better than what we saw at the beginning of the season. So I do agree with Blitz that.
And their kick coverage was really good today,
So,
I thought.
it is getting in every facet of football, everything is starting to click, right? Special teams is clicking. Obviously, offensively speaking, this team is doing things offensively. Defensively, it's better than it was in the beginning of the season, but I do think there are things they have to clear up. Like, you can't have a team like the Giants. Forget the passing. Just forget the passing element towards the end of the game. But the way they were running the football against them, that has to be cleaned up. Like George, we talked about, Glennon came out and said, this team looks better. That defensive line looks better without Jonathan Allen, right? And I was like, let's wait and see common opponents.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see common opponents. It's this. I would argue and say the way the Giants played it, the run up the middle was worse this time than it was the first time. Because
I think
all they
that's
typically
correct.
did was run the football. Like, they didn't throw the football. They were moving the football just by running it, which in today's NFL is hard to do.
And they were running it. They were misdirection. It wasn't just Singletary who it was the last time. Tracy Singletary. They even ran Darius Slayton and got like almost 10 yards on a run with that little. Like the little misdirection sort of jet sweep action.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They didn't get the pressure. They didn't get the pressure on Jones for the most part that they got the first time. They definitely did worse against the run, although at least in the second half it was a little bit better.
No, it was better. I thought they made adjustments. So to your point, I think in the second half they made adjustments. They definitely.
But I think you're right. I think with the first common opponent, we probably do have to slow our roll on Johnny Newton a little bit, and I'm as guilty as anybody because I mean last week was unbelievable what Newton was doing. But I think that's a great. I think that's a great point, and it's something that we got to be mindful of and look at as we go on through this this second half of the season.
Yeah, he said. I think Saul said they would not even pass the ball on this terrible defense, horrible defense. We only getting better. Yeah, I do believe it's getting better though. It is getting better. Totally agree.
It is getting better, but let's remember the reason they kept running is because it was working. So why change it?
It was working so well. But all in all, like, this is a good win because I think every division you swept the Giants, and I think George, you said it. When was the last time we did that? Right?
They were talking about all these things. They went through 2 Giants games with no turnovers, which that hasn't happened. I think they said it was like 30-some years. It might have been longer than that. This is the first rookie QB to beat the Giants twice in a season since the merger. These other things. I want to say we swept the Giants. Oh, Drake May just threw a pick and they lost the game to Patriots in overtime.
I'm watching. I saying that. It's okay. He hit a game. It's all good. Come on, keep going. We're good.
Oh yeah, but it's like they have been. I mean, the Giants have been just such a problem for us. I think they might have swept them in 21, but you'd have to go way back before that. And that 21 team was so bad. That was Joe Judge's second year, and they got fired. It almost shouldn't count. That's how bad they were. They don't sweep this team often, and this team's been bad the last 10 years, and they don't sweep this team often. So that tells you these division wins are priceless. When you don't win a division game like we didn't win one last year, any division win is a reason to throw a party. So, as far as I'm concerned, for that reason, it's a good win. I think there's a lot of nits to pick, like what you say, Wole, and we're going to pick some of them because, again, we're talking about the high standard that they've shown, and we're talking about the high standard they are straining for.
Yeah.
They're not there yet, and if they want to get there, they're going to have to improve on some of these things.
But like I said earlier, I think they're arguably one of the better teams in the NFC. Like they're contenders. I think you got to be fair if you're going to really be honest about how you observe the landscape of the NFC. The Lions are the juggernaut right now, and then everybody else.
Everybody else can be had. The Lions are the only team. The Lions are the only team that we would be a 5 or 6 point underdog against, and that's at their place. I think we'd be an underdog at home, but we wouldn't be a significant underdog at home. But at their place, we'd be a significant underdog.
You got the Lions. I mean, outside the Lions, you got Atlanta, who's playing good football. You have obviously the Commanders. I'm trying to think of like the Packers.
But the Packers have got questions at quarterback. I mean, they keep putting Love out there injured, and they do it one too many times.
I'm just saying, in terms of just playing for good football, like they're winning games. Like we just got to.
No, that's true. I would have the Packers ahead of us if they were healthy at quarterback, but they aren't. So that's why I don't personally when I look at the NFC.
Then you have the Vikings. You have all these teams that are playing good football. So who are in the same place? Like just the same thing. Like arguably, like why I say that is that we had a tough fought game against Chicago, which is in that division. So they all by common opponents, common teams. These are teams that you are when you play them, you don't expect a blowout. You expect a good football game. You know what I mean? So the Commanders are in that and are like, but they're amongst those teams that you talk about representing in it, like the Niners or whatever. Like when you mention these teams, you have to mention the Commanders. You can't just say because of your beliefs or what you imagine. We're just talking about on the field play. The Commanders are a contender. You just got to say that's what it is. You know what I mean? Just like when you watch what Atlanta's doing now, like you may not like the way it's looking, but they're winning football. Tampa, when they were healthy, they were a contender. Like
so the good news is that we'll have a chance to settle the argument about Atlanta when it's time.
Exactly, because they'll play them. You get to play them. So, but that's the thing. Like so, but when you talk about Washington, because of what they're doing now, when you're talking about Washington. It's not just a good story. You gotta look at them like they're contenders. That's how you gotta look at them. That's how now could being a contender to go to the bowl and win the bowl are two totally different things. But if you're talking about going to the bowl, they're in that group. They're definitely in that group.
Absolutely.
So we talked about this game. You mentioned some what we liked or certain things we liked or whatnot, and we didn't go heavy in it. But I want to know in terms of for you, this game still in the beginning, it was there. It was in between. You didn't know where this game was going to go initially. Even towards a little bit at the end, that's when it kind of got even scarier, to be honest with you. But they held on. But for you, what were some of the key plays in this game that kind of determined the outcome?
For me, you mentioned it already. The Jayden Daniels fade back to Eckler on 3rd and 9 for I think it was 29 yards. That was a huge play in this game. And then the one to Olamide who's wide open. That was a massive play in this game. Oh God, there was one other one that I wanted to mention, and now I'm drawing a blank. But those two really stick out to me as big plays in the game. And let me tell you something. Mark Sanchez, I can't stand Mark Sanchez. Complaining about that illegal pick.
Bruh.
That was an illegal pick.
That was an illegal pick. I don't know what y'all were trying to. Him and his partner, both of them. What's just him? That was an illegal pick. Like, what are we doing here?
Seriously, Darius Slayton didn't even try to make it look like a route. Come on. Yeah. So that was, honestly, that might have been the biggest play of the game in the sense that they were starting to gather momentum, the Giants, and them only kicking that field goal kind of gave Washington a buffer. The way the game plays out, I can't rip the analytics people and make fun of them for what the Giants did that was stupid. Had the game played out differently, I would be doing like 5 minutes on that, but I'm going to skip it because there's other stuff to talk about.
But that was dumb. That was dumb. But
made no sense.
For me, like it's going to be smaller things. Like for me, a key was we're going to talk about the touchdown that carried the second touchdown that Terry caught to end the half. But the play that kind of put that in position with De'Ami Brown on the sideline for that 24-yard
What a great play.
And that was all effort. It's just to get him into position so to Terry to make that play. We're not going to – a lot of people may not talk about it. They may gloss over it. But I thought that play by De'Ami was huge.
That's the one I was trying to think of, and I couldn't think of it.
That play for me was like, okay, because you were thinking field goal. Then all
no,
of a
they
sudden,
called that to get a
yeah,
field goal. They weren't thinking
yeah,
he was going to get first down on that.
yeah. You got a first down. They called the timeout. Then Diami now they have a one shot for the end zone. I don't care how the Giants played it. We could talk about how poorly that was played. But that play doesn't happen if it wasn't for Diami putting his extra work to get that first down. Honestly, I thought Noah Brown played like he has a couple that catch he had on the sideline. We had to adjust to Heidi. Kind of, because you got to help your young quarterback to adjust himself, and so he did that. And also another key play was, and I'm going to talk about him further on a little bit more, but Chris Rodriguez to kind of ice the game when he had that 17-yard run, that tough run to pretty much ice the game. So to a point where, all right, now you knew the Giants weren't going to get the ball back anymore.
That I'm glad, and that's the guy I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Here's Chris Rodriguez. He was drafted by the last regime. Yeah. He is fighting his tail off just to make the roster. He's on the practice squad. You're not expecting a lot out of a kid like that. And let's face it, he's under a new coaching staff. He may not be feeling too good about his position.
Facts. He
comes in there. And we go back to what Joe Witt talked about, even though he's talking about the defense. I think this applies to the offense too. Talking about playing violently and arriving violently. Chris Rodriguez is blocking people in the passing game and putting them on their butt.
Right.
And when he gets the ball handed to him, he is laying the lumber. And my only disappointment is that he didn't punch it in at the end.
He deserved it.
Because he just exactly. Chris Rodriguez. Again, it's players like that making contributions that you have special season, because Chris Rodriguez is on nobody's radar. He was elevated from the practice squad. He's essentially coming in as third running back because Brian Robinson's not healthy. And this guy plays like a man possessed. And I got to tell you, I don't know how you send him back to the practice squad after a performance like that, because everybody's going to see that tape. And if he goes back to our practice squad, I bet you somebody signs him off of it, because that's the kind of guy, the character, the toughness. Yes, he's got to work on his fumbles has been an issue, and that's why he's in the position he's in and not, say, the second running back or whatever. But that kid right there, I was so proud of Chris Rodriguez. I hope they recognize him in the locker room and give him a game ball, because, man, that is everything you want in a football player, and that's everything you want a team to be about if they're going to be a championship team. What Chris Rodriguez did today.
On IG, my man Adam said they have to make a move or two before the deadline. They are good, but if they want to make a real run, they need to make a move.
Yes, they do. They do.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate you.
You can't let Daniel Jones look as good as he did. You just can't.
And Paul, man, I agree with you, man. Diami needs more time than 12 and 14.
I do too. Because
one thing I think people have been hard on Diami. There's one thing you can't say. Every opportunity this man has had, and it's limited opportunities, he has made plays, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has made plays, and you stay there. Like, yeah, you may want Noah Brown. Like, Noah Brown got the opportunity to get the Hail Mary, but in that game, he dropped a lot of passes, right? In that game, the Hail Mary kind of changes everything up. But Noah had a great game today, right? He had a great game today.
That's right.
I think Noah had like 60 yards. I have to look it up, like 50 or 60 yards receptions. Reception yards. But Diami is making plays, man. Like, and those are effort plays. Like, he's not easy to bring down. You see the speed, you see the burst. Obviously, we see what he can do with the explosive plays. He's a guy that needs to see the football field a little bit more. I'm not gonna say over like McCaffrey, because I think McCaffrey does get, McCaffrey gets open. Even though y'all know how I feel about Diami, I think Diami deserves an opportunity. But he definitely over Olamide, Zacchaeus, I think he deserves more playing time than Olamide. And I think little by little it's happening though. I do see that if you pay attention, that Olamide's chances have been subtracted compared to how it started in the season. So.
I mean, none of us would want to contemplate how that game plays out if it's 17-7 at halftime instead of 21-7. Could have got a lot more uncomfortable. And Diami Brown gave us the chance for freaking Jayden to put another absolutely beautiful throw on his highlight reel and get that thing in the end zone for us.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Jayden's doing it. But you mentioned Chris Rodriguez too, man. 11 carries, 52 yards, man. Like, I'm happy for him too, George. Like, I just feel
Oh,
I feel, and it's wild. I feel like I was in the minority for a while. I've always liked Chris Rodriguez, and like because I like that he always goes forward. He's a tough dude to bring down,
mhm.
similar to like how we view B Rob in a way. I think B Rob
Yeah.
is a little bit more. It's a little bit more explosive than Chris Rodriguez, but I think Chris Rodriguez is a tough dude to bring down. If you looked at what he did in Kentucky, he's one of the best rushers in the SEC. So he's
That's right.
always been that type of back. So I like him. I just think he has pedigree to be a good back. Obviously you got Austin Eckler, who's a dynamic. Nichols had a good game against the Cardinals, so he's always in favor there. But I just feel like when you're missing, if you're missing a Brian Robinson, you have to call up a Rodriguez for the practice squad because
Yes.
he's the best. He's the comparable measurement, the comparable back to a Brian Robinson. They know now you have that somebody Taylor who's to be who could be the thunder or lightning. You know what I'm saying? You got Eckler and now a Rodriguez. You know what I mean? Because to me, Nichols is not that guy in this situation. You need two different backs, and I think and you saw it work beautifully in this situation against the Giants, who have one of the baddest dudes in the middle, and they were still able to get through Dexter Lawrence and do their thing with those two backs. So, yeah, man, I'm happy for Chris Rodriguez. I think like you said, it's gonna be hard to like not have him on the active roster.
I tell you, if they send him back to the practice squad, I think there's a decent chance he gets signed away. So that's a tough. That's going to be an interesting roster decision that Adam Peters has got to make this week. Among the other things he's going to have on his plate, he's got to see if that's worth the risk because that would naturally be what you'd do. B Rob comes back healthy next week. You'd be sending Chris Rodriguez, you'd be waiving him, hoping he gets through waivers and then back to the practice squad. I mean, that's the other thing. I guess you'd have to waive him. I can't imagine he'd get through waivers. Because again, a lot of people are going to see that tape, especially the end of the game. Because what I loved is he's played well, and what does Cliff Kingsbury and this coaching staff do? Let's reward this kid. I think they wanted him to score a touchdown.
I think so.
And even though it ended up perfect, because he gets the first down without the touchdown, and then they can kneel on the ball. They gave him the ball 4 times in a row because I think they wanted him to put it in the end zone, and it's just tough luck that he didn't. But that last drive, I can't help it. That's the stuff. That's the stuff of greatness. Doing that on the road and basically taking a team's heart and soul right there and putting it away like that. Beautiful.
Dan did said all 4 running backs have been productive this season. Agreed. I like this. I would let B Rob rest for another week. It's I agree with that.
I agree with that. Santiago?
Santiago, because I feel like it's a hamstring injury. Those are tricky. If he's not 100%, let him rest until you get the real B Rob. So I'm with that. I'm actually with that idea.
And not just that. I mean, this is 2 weeks now he's had to sit out, and they've been 2 big games. He sat out the Ravens game, which is the biggest game we've played this year, and now a divisional game. I think that's absolutely right, Santiago. And McNichols produced today. Eckler, excellent again. You saw what Chris Rodriguez did and how we're praising him. There's no reason to rush. And I know B-Rob will be disappointed because he was lobbying on the field. I was seeing tweets about it. He was lobbying to play because that's just who Brian Robinson is. Sit him another week. I think that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him at all. I just wouldn't. But
especially because the next game after this coming week, I think, is the Thursday night game, right?
Yeah, you got the Steelers next week. You got the Steelers
because I think it's Steelers and then Eagles on Thursday night. Because if you play him against the Steelers and he comes up with any kind of injury, you can forget about Thursday night. So I think hit him and let him have that extra 4 days for Thursday night, and then he should be ready to rock and roll against those dead gum Eagles.
Yeah, you want him against you definitely want him against the Eagles. You rather him against the Eagles than the Steelers. I'm sorry. I know that's a measurement game, but that's the game we really want.
Absolutely.
Division game. It's a game that can probably, the winner can have a good opportunity to win the NFC East. So why not?
Yeah.
We'll probably not have a good opportunity. Probably will. The winner of that game of that matchup wins the East. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm totally with that. So let's get to this. So what are some of your no? Let me talk about this first before I get to the negatives. Terry McLaurin had 2 touchdowns receptions today. George mentioned George mentioned like that beautiful pass by Jayden Daniels. It was a great pass. It was Jayden Daniels. That's what happens when you have an actual number one, a top franchise quarterback. Your number one receiver can be a number one wide receiver. There was no Nico Collins without CJ Stroud. You know what I mean? And Terry was always getting money with like Taylor Heineke and folks. It was always getting 1,000 yards.
Case Keenum, Taylor
Case
Keenum, all this flotsam and jetsam that's come through here.
But some of y'all was out here saying that Terry's not number one. I mean, Terry only had like 2 receptions for 19 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. But y'all would come out and say Terry's not number one. Terry wasn't even targeted like that much, but he still made his big plays happen. Brandon Banks, not Brandon Banks. Banks, Deontay Banks. For 2 years. Last year's a rookie, and even the first game, he was going crazy talking about Terry. He got worked today. He got worked. He turned him with a peekaboo. But all that to say, like I'm gonna look at Terry's stats real quick. I mean, because he's on pace to get over 1,000 yards. I mean,
well over, I think, at this point.
Right now, I don't think they added his stats here, but he has 579 yards, adding the 19 yards. He's close to 600. 2 touchdowns, so it's 6 touchdowns now. 6 touchdowns for a receiver who some of you would say that he tried to say he wasn't number one. I know who you are. I remember you. I keep receipts. Some of them I'm really cool with. I think they're super tight with. I had him on the show before. You know what I'm saying? We had this debate. Terry wasn't getting the ball week 1. Week 2, they try to shift the blame on Terry. Like Terry wasn't getting open. I was like, nah, Terry open. He a rookie quarterback. He trying to, he gotta get his feet wet. He got his feet wet. And Terry started getting money. I don't see y'all. I don't see some of y'all apologizing to Terry. Because some of y'all were doing some nasty work type of stuff. Yeah, I mean some real nasty work. Some of y'all was saying like certain people better than Terry. Some of y'all said Terry should get traded for some meh players. And now all Terry do is get money, and I don't hear y'all with that same energy. I've been looking on my Twitter timeline, and I don't see nothing about Terry getting traded or Terry's now number one. Thank you, Paul. I owe you, and yeah, I know it's okay, Paul. You my guy though. I appreciate you. I wasn't talking about you, but I appreciate you, Paul. No, look, Terry's that. I know DH. He is that guy. He is. But I'm just saying, like, I just want y'all to know, like, don't ever bite the hand that feeds you. I just want y'all to know that, like, and Paul, I'm not talking about you, bro. I'm talking about some others. Because it's okay to like somebody. It's okay to protect somebody. It's okay. I understand. But sometimes you got to be rational with something. We look at Terry, and we forget. Like, he had Taylor Heineke throw into him, and he was getting money. Like Joe, he had Case Keenum throwing at him. He was getting money. He had Allen. I mean, was it Allen? What's his name?
Kyle Allen. Yep.
Kyle Allen getting money. These aren't franchise quarterbacks. Look, man. Look. He didn't really get along with Sam Howell like that, but still got 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, why y'all doubting this dude? And he's got a franchise quarterback now. Y'all would down him? You going down him when he has a franchise quarterback?
We're talking about 12 or 13 touchdowns this year, maybe more.
And he's not even 6 foot. He's not even like 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to give you probably double-digit touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I accept your apology. I accept your apology for Terry. But I just want you to remember where you were week 1 and week 2.
Wole has the receipts. It's a CVS receipt.
I just want to know. A lot of names on there. I just want to know. Know what, George? I'm not doing this right. I'm gonna do this like my man DH used to tell me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Here we go. Terry's a bad man. And for you all to doubt Terry was nasty freaking work. It was horrible. It was disgusting. Because some of y'all play sports. Y'all know sports. Y'all do it. If you get money with garbage players or garbage players, that's a credit to you. Because everybody got to team up to take you away. And they couldn't take him away. Now, he got a guy that can make life easy for him. What did you think was going to happen? For real. And then when you watch the tape, when you really watch the tape, y'all try to say he didn't get no separation. He wasn't getting open. But when people put tape to tape, clip to clip together, he was getting open. But he didn't get the ball. So you just decided to just do that nasty work and say Terry wasn't a number one. Because it was easy to say. Terry's not number one because so-and-so isn't giving him the ball. Now so-and-so, he got that connection with him. Now he's getting the ball. And what are you saying now? What are you saying? Are you saying Terry's not number one? Nah. You say 17 getting money. That's what you saying. Now you just say 17 say 17. But you the same people who turned your back on him. And for that, I say for shame on you. For shame. Because you bit the hand that feeds you. So now you're forced to watch him on every Sunday make you look bad. Hey, man, I ain't never doubt him. And I'm a Michigan fan. I'm going with the Buckeye. But I know he get money. I'm glad now you all see it and you see your fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. And you know what? I believe in forgiveness. I'm a man of forgiveness. So me, Wole, this guy here, will tell you guys I forgive you for your trash opinions about Terry McLaurin. I forgive you. And I am welcoming you back on the Terry McLaurin bandwagon because it's a beautiful place to be. Have a blessed day. Now, George, I will bring you back on the show. Now George is back.
Reverend Wole. Reverend Wole from the pulpit.
That's all I'm saying. I'm bringing you back in.
No, and there's a few times when even I've been getting close to that side of the argument because I've said a few things, and when people have pointed out certain things about Terry, I've been like, yeah, I think I agree with him. Yeah. Terry is a number one receiver. He's a top 10 receiver in this league. And the thing we got to keep reminding, before he got that contract extension, when it briefly looked like he might get out of here, there were teams lined up to give us 2 number ones for him.
And to be real with you, the reason why, to me, it was like a ridiculous statement to even say about Terry, because his contemporaries who watched the game were some of the greatest route runners or football players at his position, all said he was a number one. Ocho Cinco would say like he's one of the most underrated great receivers in this game. You know, Chris Carter, folks, these dudes, they talk about Terry McLaurin in the highest light. And for us as fans who don't know the true ins and outs of like playing the wide receiver position, to doubt those individuals and say he's not a number one, that's what kind of got me. But hey, here you go. Get yourself. All those Terry haters all were buoy red yoga fans with Fat Alberts on it. Or I'm with you, buddy. I'm just saying, a lot of them. I'm gonna go full screen this week about that.
Yes, DH. Talking about Diamond Brown. Talk it up.
And DH, I'm gonna give Paul his flowers, man. He's saying what I was saying, that we need to start having that discussion of getting this man Diami more playing time over some of these other receivers, because all this dude is doing is making plays, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. I feel like I'm with you. Diami, and you can't keep saying Diami drops the ball anymore, so y'all can't use that argument anymore. You can't say he's not getting open because he's getting open. He just doesn't get the same opportunities as other receivers on this team. But I think Diami is a talented receiver, and I think you're starting to see it little by little.
And DH, that catch deserves that treatment because that ended up changing the entire game.
Yeah. Also, I want to give flowers to because I was tough on him. See, when I'm tough on somebody, I like to come out and apologize. Dante Fowler has been balling, and also I think we got, even though we made like Defoe, Chin is kind of doing it. Chin is working.
Mhm.
Chin
Yeah,
is kinda
Chin, that
working.
was it. That pass he
Chin has
knocked
been good
away.
the last couple weeks. Chin has been good.
Mhm.
Chin has been
Made,
good.
made some big play. He made some big plays out there. That one he deflected away. That was a great play because that was one of Daniel Jones's better throws too.
Yeah, it really was. And he's coming out like a missile. Like a missile. For real.
Mhm.
All right, so George in the chat, feel free. And also, if you have a comment, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I told y'all about a minute, whatever. Y'all can say y'all piece and then be out. I'm a rude house guest. I'm not a rude house guest. I'm a rude host. That's what I'm a rude house. I'm a rude host. That's what it is. So anyway, here I'm putting it in the chat. I'm gonna kick you out after you're done with your time. Let me stop playing. But George, what are some of the negatives that you had in this game? Some of your negatives.
God, I'm going to feel like the broken record because everybody else will be saying I'm saying too. I'm so sick and tired of Ben St. Juice getting picked on that badly. Slayton, flipping, Neighbor. I mean, that's the thing. Neighbors, I think, might have had no targets in the first half or like one target, no catches. And I mean, again, understand this. Malik Neighbors isn't going to win Rookie of the Year. But it's not. It's going to be because Jayden Daniels is all-time great, but it's also going to be because his degree of difficulty with that quarterback is through the roof. Malik Neighbors is going to be a top 10 receiver in this league once he gets a franchise quarterback throwing the ball to him. People are going to be respecting Malik Neighbors the way they should be respecting Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
And again, he'll do that to lots of people, yes, but really Benjamin St. Juiced. He's got to be better than that. He gets another defensive pass interference yet again. And also the fact that at least in the first half, the Giants absolutely crammed the ball down our throat. And that would have kept them in the game, except for Washington got the turnover, and Washington was good in the red zone, thank goodness.
Yeah. Obviously, mine is St. Juice. Won't even lie. There's nothing like really. I mean, I could talk about the interior of the defense.
Yeah.
Like, because running the ball, like, that's a mentality. And I felt like they were, like, playing bully ball with him. That's a mentality. And they were, like, literally doing whatever they wanted to do against him. I'm against him on the run. But let me start with St. Juice. Yo, I don't know what it is, like, about why he is important to this team. I know DH was like, yeah, he fits like what they want to do, and he's better. They think he's better suited than Forbes, but it gets to a point now where that to me doesn't even matter anymore. To be real,
I agree.
Because he's getting picked on. That's just different. It's just different when you're getting picked on, and it's not. If Neighbors beats him, I'm not really mad at when Neighbors beats him. You know, I don't get like super whatever, but I can.
His Neighbors is a top class receiver already.
He's a supreme talent. That's what he's a supreme talent. But it gets to a point where when they start to pass you off, though, that's when I start to get annoyed. And they're passing him off. Like, you could tell that Daniel Jones is looking for him. You know what I'm saying? And, I got my man DH, so I'm going to put him on. You could tell Daniel Jones was looking for him. So that's that was bothering me. But DH, what's up? What's going on, my man? What's good, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm very glad that I could get on here with y'all real quick, man. I'm driving, going to pick up baby girl, man.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. So what you want to say real quick, bro, before
Hey, man, before you kick me out, I'll say this. Even when the Giants were playing well, the game just felt like we was still in control. It felt like we just had a pulse in the game. We just were in control. It never got too high. It never got too low. They kept everything in front of them, and then they just did what they had to do. So I love the way the team is playing. They're very confident. They got a lot of swag right now. And I think the only people standing in their way is the person in the mirror. I think this team's sky's the limit, man.
I agree. So what else you want to add, bro? I'm gonna kick you out off that. What you want?
Oh, you ain't gonna kick me out? Oh man, I feel
not
good,
yet.
Man.
Go ahead. Got you. I'm gonna give you one more. I'm gonna give you about a good minute. Go ahead.
hey, look, man. I want to shout out Fox NFL pregame show for having me on the pregame show, and I ain't even know they had my video from last week.
Oh,
from Hail Mary. Yeah, I posted it on X earlier. Yeah, but
dude, I'll have to find that. You said you posted it on X?
Yeah, I posted it.
Oh,
but the thing with that, right, is that I'm really thinking about now a week later is that how historic that moment is, and just how we all are part of history from that, right?
Yeah.
They talked on the post-game show just now about not having a letdown this week. And people saying, could this be a trap game? Could you be too emotional? And no, they just went out and just played good football, beat up on the Giants still, even though they played well, but beat up on the Giants, and got their first sweep of the season, man. And this team is just good, man. This team's a whole lot better than what I thought they were going to be. I think this week on the show, we're going to go back and review the episode where we made our picks and really see how wrong we were. Because nobody would say that they had us set to at this point, whether it's a fan podcast, whether it's the TV shows, anybody. Nobody said that we're going to be this good. So the fact that we are this good, it deserves full screen, and it deserves to go back and be analyzed, because this team is really playing above all levels that anybody could have expected, man.
Well said, man. I totally agree, man. Hey, but get home safe, bro. Get you
We'll
safe.
do, man. We'll do. Man. Love y'all, man. I know I'm gonna see y'all this
Good
week.
to see you, DA.
You already know. You know. All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Later.
My man.
See ya.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with him. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, we all, like, I was wrong. I thought this team went like 4 or 5 games. I was talking about getting my man Travis Hunter.
I was saying 6 or 7, so
You know
so was I.
We're not getting Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? We're not getting players like that. You know what I mean? We can, like, it's okay. Like, you can say as a fan, if you said, yeah, we're going to the bowl, it doesn't seem that ridiculous.
Not now.
To be fair, it's not ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're in that discussion where you could say, are you the favorites? No. But are you in that discussion of a team that you could make it there? Yeah, you're in that discussion. You know what I mean? Just like Eagle fans, they think they're in a discussion to go to the bowl. Just like maybe Niner fans, they think they can go to the bowl. We're in that home with that same discussion. So, but back to the negative. St. Jude's trash. That what I don't know why he gets the opportunity he does what he does, but it is not good. Paul said the defense game plan should be questioned. I think so too. I just feel like in terms of, well, I'll say that there is improvement. The improvement that I saw with the defense is that they didn't let Neighbors beat them. So I got to give them their flowers in that one compared to week 2. Week 2, they let Neighbors do whatever he wanted to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this week, I feel like this week was more like, all right, we're not gonna let you beat us. Now stopping the run was a whole different beast though. Like I ain't like that. But
and my other big negative is you get that touchdown at the end of the half, which is just huge because nobody, I think, was expecting them to get a touchdown there at the end.
Yeah.
And you come out of the doggone locker room and go 3 and out, and it's just and at that moment you're like, man, we're gonna let this team get back in this, aren't we? And that's exactly what happened. And even though they've blown these other bad teams out, which you're supposed to, and they've been pretty good about that. You just don't want to be doing that, especially if they get in that situation against Pittsburgh or Philly or Dallas. You don't want to do that because you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I feel like, and my other negative would be, let's see. I mean, it wasn't that bad. There weren't that many negatives. Oh, there was.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? There was a negative. There's a big negative actually. This Daniel Jones problem will not let me go.
Yeah.
Like, now, granted, like, did he throw for a lot of yards? I mean,
it wouldn't have been. It might have been 100. It wouldn't because he had 0 at halftime.
Yeah, he had like nothing. But like, I'm looking at stats right now. So let me.
It's the running. That's what's infuriating.
But even him getting 20 for 26, 174 yards.
Oh wow, I would have been way off. I didn't think it was that much. 174
because he had majority at the end on that drive.
Yeah, okay.
And he had a rushing touchdown, I believe, right? He had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, definitely. Yes.
He's doing too much, man. He just does too much. He does too much against Washington. Like he does way too much against Washington. This is not like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna agree with my man Blitz. Like we did get better defensively, right? We are better defensively. I don't want to like act like he was wrong. But we need to be better as a defense when Daniel Jones is able to do this consistently against the Washington Commanders.
I mean, it's kind of embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It is, bro. Because like now I'm looking at his rushing yards, seven carries of 54 yards rushing. So add that to like his passing yards, like his three touchdowns. So his body of work is like if we said Jayden had that type of performance, we'd be like, that's a good performance for a rookie. Like, but Jayden is as a rookie, Jayden's way better than Daniel Jones. Like,
Daniel Jones was running like him.
But he's running like him.
He was
Daniel
pulling
Jones
the ball.
Like
he pulled the ball out on that touchdown run, and it's like, crap, that's like the sort of thing Jayden would do.
Second player or third player to get like he had that long run. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, the man had what was that run? How long was it? It was 24 yards. 24-yard run. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we treating him? All right, another. All right, you know what? I got another one, George. I'm sorry.
Don't know.
Washington, this thing that you have with Daniel Jones must stop. Like, I don't care. Do an exorcist or something. I was going to curse. It must stop. All right. Like, it must stop. Like, we should not be having Daniel Jones look good against us. All right. You saw the stats. Like, you heard me read off the stats. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, him, 174 passing for today's quarterback. That's not great. But 20 for 26. He did have a turnover, right? He had a turnover. So I'll give him that. He had a turnover. But 2 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown pass. 1 rushing touchdown, 154 yards rushing. Like, dude, we make him look good. Like, this is not a thing. I think he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass in New York at that stadium in like forever. Who does he do that against though? Today, against the Commanders. No, this got to stop. Like, I'm glad I ain't gonna lie to y'all. They're not going to playoffs. So I'm glad I don't have to see Daniel Jones at all this year. I don't want to see him ever because obviously we can't make Daniel Jones that get right game on defense. Like, we can't make Daniel Jones the homecoming game. Like, we his homecoming game. Like, we Daniel Jones homecoming game. For real. It's getting that point now. It's getting that nasty in terms of work. Daniel Jones, we are what Daniel Jones needs for homecoming to make him feel good. If Daniel Jones is having a bad day, his wife is bothering him, his kids don't like him, he sees the Commanders, all is right with the world. He's living his best life. Daniel Jones could be the most unlucky dude ever. He must have me having the worst day, period. He sees the Commanders, it's rainbows and sunshine. I don't want no rainbows and sunshines for Daniel Jones. I don't. I'm sick of it. It's annoying as hell. So get it together because we're going to see better quarterback play during the season, and they're going to learn from whatever we do with Daniel Jones, right? So we got to get better. It's either we got to go into the trade deadline and get a cornerback, fix the secondary, bench people that need to be benched, who we tend to give favoritism to, because it got to end, man. It got to end. This Daniel Jones problem is not working for a lot of fans. It's not.
There is nobody else in the league he does this to.
He does
really. I mean, you said it. They put it on the television. 672 days since he threw a touchdown pass at home. 672. Right. So that's damn near 2 calendar years since he threw a touchdown pass at home. And again, when he's pulling the ball and looking like Jayden running, you're kind of going, what's happening here? What's going on? Seriously, what's going on? And the thing, and fortunately, it worked out.
Yeah.
But if Washington had struggled in the red zone today, if Dimey Brown doesn't break that tackle, that end of the game could have been a lot hairier, a lot thornier, a lot scarier because they couldn't find a way to get one of the worst quarterbacks in the league stopped consistently. And it is like I wish I had a good explanation for it. I mean, and it's the one thing that lets you know that we aren't all the way there yet in terms of getting rid of some of the past things that have plagued us. Because here we are 7-2, and Daniel Jones is this close to having 2 wins against us.
Yes, for real.
It's nuts.
And like Paul said, he gets money against us.
It's ludicrous.
He gets money against us. I don't like it. Giants offense keeps us off balance it does. Like I'm gonna give
that's
Dabo,
exactly right.
I'm gonna give what is it? Yeah, I'm gonna give him credit. Like he knows how to coach against this, man. I don't know if it's just the players.
Well, and that's and remember, this is with a coach that doesn't want him, didn't want him, would have run over his own. Brian Dable would have run over his own mother to get Jayden Daniels. Let's be very clear about this.
He does not want this quarterback.
He doesn't want Daniel Jones, and yet Daniel Jones can produce like he does. Dang, man, it is because again, if we're thinking about going to the bowl, Jared Goff, doggone Jalen Hurts, some of these other quarterbacks we're going to have to deal with, Kirk Cousins. They are a lot better than dadgum Daniel Jones. Seriously. So
you think so? Oh, I'm George, not you. Just George. We need another big running back. We will have problems scoring in the red zone.
I might have agreed with him before today because again, D-Rob's injuries, but I think Chris Rodriguez has made a real strong case for himself on that.
Rodriguez will be good for that. I think. I don't think we have issues in the red zone when we get to that. That 3 to 2 yard. I think we're pretty good. Again, it's different.
I mean, and I'll be honest. They could have scored in the red zone at the end of the game if they wanted to. They had first and goal.
Yeah, that was it. That was more
that was the right thing to do to take the knees. But they were trying to get a touchdown, and if they had wanted to, they could have got another one. But so I mean, like today was way better than the first time against New York. It was certainly way better than last week. Yeah. So you got to say that too. And remember, one of those red zone opportunities, they had one play. Because it was the end of the half. They had one play to get it in there and got it in there.
Nice. We should have scored 50 plus. We could. We should,
I can't agree with that.
I can't say we scored 50 plus because Daniel Jones got money. If he didn't get money, then yes. They would have more opportunities to score 50 plus. They ran the ball and held the ball for such a long time, too.
Yeah.
So it was hard to score. Like if you look at the time possession, they beat us in time possession.
Well, and there's another check of the box for Jayden Daniels. What's one of the toughest things to do for a quarterback is to sit on that sideline a long time, come out there and keep your rhythm. Yeah. And he managed that one today because that's defeated even some of the very best quarterbacks in this league. I've seen it with the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses, some of these other ones you want to name that if they have to sit a long time, it totally throws them off. And it didn't throw off Jayden Daniels today.
Yeah, I just think that the time of possession was a tough one. So I just feel like, it's going to be hard to score that many points when my man Paul out. Okay, hold on, my man Paul got a comment. I see my man Paul. I can see him in the building. What's going on, Paul?
Just here.
Welcome.
I'm upset, man.
What you upset, man?
What'd I tell you? This is supposed to be a tune-up game, right?
Yep, you did.
Special teams got the memo. Offense get the memo.
Yep.
Witt didn't get the memo.
Yep, facts. I'm with you, bro. Like,
excuse me, we should have dominated. Our defense has been improving.
Yeah.
Stacking performance. Yeah. You come with a performance like this, and I'm over here watching Packers lines, and everybody happy that we won. Cool.
Yeah.
Man, we'll get boat raced by these two teams right now.
Yes.
It's a fair comment.
No, see, that was it. So I'm mad before I let you go. See that, Paul? I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have been we can all say we gotten better though, right? We can say we got better defensively, but to a point where we want it to be, it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Daniel. Like, I'm with you. You know, when I was the pregame, I was agreeing with everything you said. Like, this should have been a tune-up. Like, and the way the game was going, like, there was a point in the game where we were up a couple of touchdowns, and I'm saying to myself, all right, we're not going to score on every drive. So I'm not going to say, like, our offense can score. Everybody's scoring on every drive. Right. But you got to stop somebody on your side. Like when your offense has all the momentum, you just got to stop somebody. And then basically they're making the Giants, your offense is making the Giants one-dimensional because they know they have to speed up and throw the football, and you're still not able to stop them throwing the football at certain times. Like, so I'm with you, Paul. Like, I think when you're playing against, say, like a Jordan Love, you're playing against a Stafford, or if you're playing against Jared Goff, these dudes out here, it ain't going to be pretty if you're going to play like this.
No, it's not. And that's my point. I'm more about performance. How we 7-2, but we still got questions about our defense.
Yeah.
9 games in the season.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We talk about NFC champ. Well, I am NFC championship.
You should be.
Exactly. So how we can make Daniel Jones getting contracts off us, man? Come on.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is, bro. I'm with you. And before I'm gonna add this. Well, Paul, I'm gonna let you go, but I appreciate you, homie.
Cool. No problem.
Thank
you, Paul.
I appreciate you. I agree with Paul, man, because that's what that gets me. Like it should be all right. Because now we're off. I'm out of the realm of being like, man, that's a good win, man. We went like we gotta expect to win games now. That's how we gotta feel like. We're at this point now.
It's true.
We gotta expect to win games. You gotta feel like if you're a winner, you gotta feel like a winner. You gotta believe you're a winner. And now you're gauging yourself on the other teams. Like you're saying to yourself, like, yeah, we won. We gotta do better. And we know the whole mantra in the NFL, like it's not easy to win on Sundays. Getting a win is getting a win. But also you want to be playing at a high level. You gotta put yourself out there and say, yo, we can't be letting Daniel Jones feel comfortable, because if we're gonna play, we're doing this. When we play, let's go with the best team in the NFC right now. Jared Goff, he gonna eat this up. Or the run game. If we can't stop their run game, we know we ain't gonna stop no Detroit Lions run game with Gibbs and Montgomery. Yes. You gotta think like that. So I'm with Paul. You gotta think that way. You gotta gauge.
Paul,
you gotta measure yourself to the best. But go ahead.
No, and that's the whole point. Paul is thinking correctly here and is right on target, because you want to be able to beat the Lions, and if possible, and if you have to, beat the Lions in their dome stadium to win and go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. That's the level we're trying to reach. Yeah. And let's face it, you want to be growing and getting better every week. Today's a step back. Yeah. There's no denying it, because we've seen this team take steps forward, and it's one thing when it's Lamar Jackson and the Ravens doing it to you. You made that point after the game that because I was pretty harsh after the game there, but it's like Lamar Jackson's MVP candidate, Derrick Henry's an MVP candidate. That's a team that's in the Super Bowl hunt, and is one of the 3 or 4 teams that you think can win the Super Bowl at the start of the year.
Nice.
This is not the Ravens. This is the Giants. It's 2-7, 2-6, whatever it is. This is a step back today, and they've taken a lot of step forwards, but you won't want to be taking steps back at this time of year, because it's like Paul says and you say, you're trying to improve to get to you want to be getting to that level in week 16, 17, and 18 so that you can do the job in weeks 19, 20, and 21 if you have to.
Yeah, and it goes to, and I'm going to read a comment, man, George, he's asking us a question, but it's like, and not even just the Lions, like, all right, I'm going to use like Ray, who's one who comes on the show every once in a while. Like his team Atlanta, like they score. Yeah. They got a vicious run game in Algier, and obviously
Bijan Robinson.
And Bijan Robinson. Then they got tight end, they got weapons galore. They got the tight end. What's my boy's name?
Kyle Pitts.
You got London. You got weapons, right?
You got Darnell Mooney, who's cooking now.
Who's cooking, right? You got Kirk Cousins, regardless of how you feel about Kirk Cousins as a quarterback.
He's cooking right now.
He's cooking, and when you give him weapons, he can dissect you, right? So, and their defense is solid enough. So you're building, you're gauging yourself on these teams. So you gotta play better. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons' offense is just loading up and rolling right now, and quite frankly, it feels like they're getting to be like us, where you don't hardly ever see them punt the ball. Like if they get stopped, it's usually because they turn it over.
Yeah.
So, and it's like you can't stop this Giants offense. You're going to stop all them great players we just named for Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's a hard sell right now.
That's what I'm saying. So you're just going to have to eventually. You're going to have to get it situated. Like you're going to have to take your game to the next level if you're trying to play those teams. Excuse me, y'all. So my man George, he says, "Do you guys believe we should trade for players that can help us win now?" I'll let you go, George. You can go there first.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be available, and I think that's a point that some content creators that have been making, and I think is a brilliant point. Is that they're trying. That's been all over the news this week. that they are trying. They are looking at players that can help us. I'm sure most of them are defensive players, but they were probably looking at receiver too as well, even though this offense is really rolling right now. George Sannell, they are trying, but the players have got to be available, and they've got to be available at a price that makes sense. I absolutely hope they're going to trade for some defensive help on Tuesday. But again, you got to have somebody that wants to make a deal and then wants to make a deal and be reasonable, and we may not get that. If they don't make a deal on Tuesday, I'm going to be disappointed, yes, but it is not going to be for lack of effort. I'll say this. The Browns losing today, for me, is huge because at least it opens up the possibility that they might be willing to part with one of those really good DBs they have because they know now Jameis is going to win them some games, yes, but he's not going to bring them all the way back. Yeah, so they need to be thinking about next year. Some of these other teams need to be thinking about next year. So maybe it's going to open up for us on Tuesday. But understand this. If it doesn't happen, it will not be because they didn't try. They are trying, and they're trying hard.
Yeah, I think they should make a trade, get a cornerback. It's just that we'll see who's going to be available, right? I think the play is a cornerback for me. I don't care about receivers. Mm-hmm. People want to say I don't care about receivers. I mean, a defensive end would be great too, but it'd be cornerback. I just feel like that's what they need. If you tell me what they need the most is a cornerback. Everything else is like whatever. I feel like everything else is schematic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they got the bodies on the D tackles to be good enough. I mean, we like the way Mathis is playing. We like Jer'Zhan. We like Deron Payne. I mean, I guess you could add another defensive end, but even that, you could say that what's the defense? Fowler. You could say Fowler's playing good football, right? So
Armstrong is too.
Yeah, Armstrong is too. So we could say defensive end but you're not going to even get the caliber defense end you're looking for because they probably won't be on the market like that. Or you probably have to give up a lot of collateral to get that type of defensive end, right? Like you want Max Crosby, you're not giving him Max Crosby's not. You're not going to. You're giving up something for Max Crosby.
You're giving up at least a first and a third.
Exactly.
And that's the absolute minimum.
Yes, a minimum. And are you willing to really do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if this regime is willing to give up a first rounder. So, yeah. So to me, that's why DBs, you can get a DB for fairly. You don't have to give a first to get a DB. So I think that you can get to get one of those dudes. You don't have to give a first. So maybe Ward, it's going to be interesting if you want to get Ward. I think that's the second. Mm-hmm. Probably a second. But I don't know what the asking price because like if you're one of the best corners in football, and Ward is Denzel Ward is, that's going to be more complicated. But I'm with you though. Like a Newsome, you're talking about Newsome, right? The other cornerback.
Yeah, Greg Newsome. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get Newsome for something definitely lighter. But I'm interested to see how Newsome performs on. I'm interested to see how Newsome performs on this team. We don't have a Denzel Ward.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of people are talking about Marshawn Lattimore? Do you think there's anything to that?
I think that's possible. I think and he's an older player. I think I think he would actually be cheaper than. Yeah, I think you can get Matt Lattimore.
And the Saints lost today, so there's. Yeah, I mean, not their season wasn't kaput already; it's really kaput now.
Yeah, I think you could try to get a third for Lattimore. I know Pauls would always win in Lattimore. I think get a third for Lattimore.
Mm-hmm.
You have some people by the fourth. It gets tougher. Yeah.
I hope you're right, Michael Underwood. I mean, they're trying. They are trying real hard. So let's give them that.
Yeah, I do think that Lattimore. Lattimore is now starting to be like more. I feel like more realistic, little by little. And plus he has the injury bug too. I think there's things that you can knock off his asking price.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lattimore would be I think he'd be a great fit here. I'd be definitely over. Lattimore would be definitely over what they have here, what they decide to use. Like he would definitely bump St. Juice out of this lineup. I think they got Lattimore. St. Juice doesn't even play anymore.
Well, I mean. Oh, I don't know. I will say this: the ripple effect of having him as the number one, and then St. Just isn't taking the number one guy necessarily. Maybe he's not even taking the number two guy. Maybe he's taking the number three guy. That could help.
I will say this: I'm gonna be totally honest with you. if St. Juice is not starting, if you get like a Lattimore, is he better than Mikey Sandestro? No.
No, he's not.
I would say argue he's not better than Noah.
That's
So I think he goes from
I can see
being.
that.
I'll be real with you. I think he goes from being wherever you put him at to not even be on it to getting Forbes treatment.
Now I wouldn't
Noah
bother
has
me.
not been. Would you risk putting him over Noah?
No,
For the inside?
not based on what we've seen this year. Nope.
And you know he's not better than Mikey. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think St. Juice
I-
goes from being that corner to not really getting that much playing time.
And I mean, and the tape in these two games against the Giants is just you can't hide from that.
Yeah.
They quite literally, wherever he was, they threw the ball at him.
Exactly. That's
He
the
was.
problem. Oh, so he said if they get Lattimore, cut him, or include him in a trade. How about that?
I mean,
include him in a trade.
I mean, that's the thing. You want to have depth just in case people get hurt, even if it's St. Juice. So I don't know about cut him, but I think Wole. I think you're onto something about him. Maybe he gets benched because I'm with you. He shouldn't be ahead of Mikey or Noah Igbenogany.
Yeah,
no
if
way.
You're gonna be real, like Noah. The reason why they say the reason why Forbes isn't playing because Noah has been playing well, and he has. I mean, I can't really argue about Noah's play. Like I really can't argue about Noah's play. Like Noah's been good. Noah
that's where you got to give Joe Witt and his staff some credit on that because Noah's a discarded first round pick.
Yeah.
And we got him. I'm trying to think. Didn't we get him during camp or was that before camp?
I think I want to say during camp. I don't know if it was before camp. I think it was during camp.
I mean, that's the point is that like he wasn't even a free agent signing during the regular free agency.
He wasn't.
And look at what they're getting out of him. That's where you credit Joe Witt and his defensive staff and Dan Quinn because I'm sure Dan Quinn's got something to do that. Yeah, but I think that's quite right. And you can't watch today like that tape. I bet that all 22 is going to be just horrible for St. Juice because it's just it didn't matter.
It's the same. Like it's the same thing we talk about where we talk about like confidence, right? We talk about players not having confidence and this, that, and the other. Like the man don't got no confidence. I mean, and I think, or maybe he does, but like he don't have real confidence to me because he's getting work. Like he's getting work, and he's always like we talk about pass interference. That's his thing. Like he's always PIs or whatever. Like that's his thing. We did my man Paul say, "Yo, Branch just got ejected for the Lions with a cheap shot."
Oh wow, that's why he was walking off. I was about to say something because I thought, is Brian Branch hurt? Because that'd be a disaster. He got ejected. That could be big in this game. Oh man.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna still win. They'll probably still win.
And I'll tell you what, he that was not clever from Brian Branch because he went right for the guy's head too.
All right, folks. So so chime in. Give me George. Who gets your game ball, bro?
Okay. I know it's strange to give this guy the game ball because you're gonna look at his stats and say, whoop-de-doo. It goes to Chris Rodriguez for me. Just to come up from the practice squad as a third string running back and give you that kind of effort and make those kind of plays and dish out some punishment, blocking and running the football. He put it on a few of those Giants, and a few of them going to be in the tub tonight because of the lumber he laid on them. Yeah. And again, it goes back to the fact that you're getting contributions from the very depth of the roster, and that's how you have a championship team is guys like Chris Rodriguez doing exactly what he did today. So he gets a game ball for me. I just wish he'd have got a touchdown because that I'd have been celebrating like crazy in the car if that had happened.
I mean, it's easy to say like Jayden Daniels. You can get
of course.
Obviously, it's easy. But I'm not gonna go that route. So I'll go with Jeremy Chin. I thought he was fine everywhere. I thought Jeremy Chin was everywhere. I just thought that's
a good one.
His play and this guy did. I mean, I was down. I'm gonna say, I was down on. I used to be like, well, man, Defoe could do what he does, but sometimes you just gotta sometimes take some of your like natural biases away from it and just say, like he's balling. Like he is. Like Jeremy Chin has been balling. So he's been a good pickup. I wish he had that pick He dropped the pick.
Yeah.
But just to add on to his game, Chin was there. Yeah, Chin was there, bro. He was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Chin was everywhere, man. Ryan, appreciate you. So I would definitely have, like, to me, it'd be Chin. I think Chin, she showed out. Jeremy Chin definitely showed out. So, but yeah, man, this has been it was a good win. I mean, not a great win. It was a win, man. Like, and it's a sweep. We sweep the division team, and that's something that we weren't able to do last year. Get division wins. We got 2 already off the books. Looking like the Cowboys are very vulnerable, so it'll be good to play that team too as well. The Eagles will be a very just like after the Steelers game. That Eagles game is going to be lit. Can't wait for that Eagles game. But yeah, I just think that as Commander fans, man, we're at a good place. And I said this before, even about the Eagles. Like, this Eagles team isn't as strong as we saw last season with that offensive line when they had Kelsey at center. Their O-line is not the same O-line. So I do think that we can make I'm going ahead. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I do think we can make Jalen Hurts work a lot more than we did in the past. So but yeah, this is still a win is a win. But like Paul, I do want better. You know, you got to grade your team that way. I do want better.
Mm-hmm.
But because I did expect a blowout. I expected a blowout. But I think, like, I want to know, it was DH or somebody else that it felt like we owned. Yeah, DH. We felt like we owned the game, though.
I mean,
like it is like we owned the game.
Yeah, from the moment they got up 14-7,
it felt like we were in super control.
Yeah, and just I think that the one of the biggest negatives is the fact that they didn't do what the Chiefs and some of the other really great teams in this league do, which is come out of the locker room, double dip, and just stomp on your heart right there.
We've been good at double dipping. That's the thing that kills us. We've been good at
No, we have been, but it's like, man, if that was Mahomes, they're going down and scoring, it's 28-7, and that's it. It's ball game over.
That's true. Rex Ryan says struggling a DN or a cornerback for a pick on the trade deadline. Yeah, DN. I'm cool with DN or cornerback. Definitely am. But yeah, man, but still, we're happy. We're 7-2, man. We wouldn't have thought we'd be 7-2, man. We're 7-2, bro. Like 7-2. How many games we win? We already won more of the games than we did last year. It's crazy.
Yeah, and depending on where you got it, if you got 6.5 wins as the over/under for Washington this year, you've won your bet, and it's not even Thanksgiving. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, DJ, what's up, Dujanay said, I mean, they did. They just didn't come out of the half and get that touchdown. The Giants felt they had life. They did.
No question.
The Giants did feel like they had life. I'm just not a fan of what we showed them, though. I thought we should have took away their lives. We should took away the Giants' souls. That was my thing. We should take their souls away. And we didn't. But it's okay, though. Again, we won, which is like, isn't that better than anything? Like, we've had losses. Like, damn, we lost to that team. Like, we won. If we had lost this game, we would have felt bad about losing this game.
No, what we didn't do, we didn't spend what we earned with that miracle last week. Because if we'd have lost, we would have spent what we earned last week.
Facts.
And now we go into this Pittsburgh game. It's not a conference game, so it's not nearly as important as some of the other games we're going to be playing down the stretch is. So we don't have to put that pressure on ourselves the way, say, Pittsburgh may feel a little bit of pressure because they got the Ravens right on their heels.
So true. But yeah, hey, folks, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for being on. We appreciate y'all, man. Again, the Washington Commanders, big victory, 27-22 over New York Giants. They are undefeated in the division right now, which is always a great thing. It's good to be undefeated at any type of level. And what we've learned is Terry McLaurin's the number one. So all y'all who hate it, just go sit down somewhere. Anyway, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. It is up on IG and TikTok at ABG_everything. And also like actually we don't have that anymore. So I'll take that away. We don't have a Facebook page anymore. So we don't like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page because Mark, I tell you. You screwed my life. But anyway, but you can make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. If you're watching this on a different platform, go to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit the red subscribe button. Also like this video. You're on here now. Like this video. It's great for the algorithm. So make sure you like the video, Paul, man. No problem, man. Anytime, bro. Told you, man. You chime in, homie.
Absolutely, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, Rick, I'm amazed at the team gelling. I love the fact that OC or offensive coordinator coach is on the field calling plays. Yeah, he's a young dude too, so he's about that life. He's about that life. He's new school, man. I'm glad he's on the field as well. But yeah, man. So Paul, appreciate you too. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports. Staying in Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM at 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, man, your favorite postgame show is out.